Hello, and welcome back to Microsoft PowerPoint. In this module, we want to talk about inserting shapes. The first thing we want to do for this module is we want to insert a blank slide. We will start from new slides. Now, in our blank slide, when we insert shapes, I want to just give out a heads up. Try not to do too many shapes in a slide. They can become cumbersome and overbearing and just kind of messy. So we want to keep our slides in a manner that they will be work for our advantage when we show in our presentation. And the first thing I wanted to show you is how you hide, when we have a blank slide, how you can hide the background. So when you have your blank slide up, you go to your Design tab. Under your Design tab, you go to Format Background. When you go to Format Background, you see where you can format background, and where here it says where you can hide background graphics. If you click here, you'll see that all the features of your background graphics are removed. If you uncheck it, you can see where they come back. So for this, what we want to do is hide our background graphics. Now, the background graphics that you just hear pertains only to this slide. If you want to apply to all slides, you would click here to apply to all. And that way all the slides would be the same plain background. But for what we want to do here, we want to just keep on the current slide and apply them here. Now you go over to your Insert tab. Under your Insert tab, you click on the shapes. You click under your shapes. And then under your shapes, you have a variety of shapes in which you can add to your presentation. The top line is basically your recently used shapes. Then you have lines and rectangles and basic shapes. You can kind of see here arrows and equations if you have anything mathematical that you want to add into your slide presentation. So for just a simple, we want to just do a basic line. Then you do your line, you see you get your crosshairs. Your crosshairs is the beginning and the end. So you put your here, and then you can draw your line. Once you draw a line, note that you get your shape format dialog box where you can change the shapes of your lines. You can change the color. If you can see, it's here is green. You can also change. You click the drop down arrow. You can have different aspects of that line which you just drew. Because once you draw, you get your handles. Your handles mean you can either resize them, or just like in any other object, resize them, or you can move it. And then you can move it. Let's go back again. We'll keep lines straight. And just like with Microsoft, there are more than one ways to access your objects, or your shapes. If you notice over here under your File Home tab, there's another drop-down box where you can do the same thing. If you click here, you see you have the same menu, the things that you can use in which to add or remove a shape. Let's do a rectangle. I want the rectangle. You still have your same crosshairs. Now here you drag and drop the size and the shape of the rectangle that you want. And if you also notice, the shape format came up because now you had a placeholder for which your rectangle is in. With the same concept, you can change the color. But if you hover, you see the color change. Use your drop down arrow for your shape styles. Then you can see the different styles, the shapes that you can use when you doing your presentation. I want to keep something that we can see. Let's just go with green. And also under your shapes, if you go to your fill, drop down arrow on your fill. And here you can do the same thing where you can see you can change different shapes and colors to your object. Of course, and we spoke about this before, where you can do more fills. We talk about these later in the module. Where you can do more fills, you can customize your own colors. The outline gives you outlines of your shape. Let's do dark. Well, you can't see dark blue. Let's do purple. Where you can see now you have a purple outline to your shape. And then under your effects, you can either put shadow or glow. If you go under your effects, you can see the different things that you can do with that object. We're going to go over these more. Let's do a shadow just so that we can see. Now I want to go back to our insert shapes. Select our drop down arrow so we can pick a shape. Now I want to do something different on this one. I want to do a line, the squiggly line. This one right here is for a freehand line. So now you know when you click, this gives you a freehand, which means that you can draw as you go. So let's do something like this right here. I'm trying to make a sine wave. It's kind of hard. It's kind of funny looking on here, but this is supposed to be a sine wave. Let's start right there. Then release it. Now you had the same thing. You had your placeholder. Whether if you want to, I'm just gonna arrow down. You can arrow where you can move your placeholder. Now, if you notice, you can put your objects on top of other objects here. And so let's do the same thing. Let's change this so that we can see a little bit different color. We make it red, just so we can see red. And so that's one of the objects you have with your freehand. And I want to share with you a couple more. We go back to our shapes. Let's go back to our insert and our shapes. And now this one we have, as you see, we still have, the flow chart, stars and banners. I'm gonna click stars and banners. Let's see on stars and banners. I'm gonna do this one here. We do a 16-point star. And then we stretch it so that we can see it, okay? Now, here's the cool thing about these right here. I'll move this around a little bit. If you want to resize, you can resize by grabbing one of the handles and just resizing it. Let's go back. If you want to maintain the same symmetrical shape, if you hold your shift key and resize, if you notice now it's the same shape. If I want to elongate it or something like that, I can do like this right here. And that would give me the difference. But I want to keep the same shape, so let's go back. Now, one of the cool things about here, if you notice on some of your shapes, you have a dot inside the shape. What that dot is it's a handle in which you can resize or reshape or move within your shape. So we click here, and as you see, now we move within the shape. And so we change the shape. We talked about the rotation handle where you can rotate it to a difference. And then the same concept where you can change colors if you would like to change colors. So that's another one of the cool features about shapes. If we go back to our insert tab, our insert shapes, then I want to do another one. And then we click on, show you a couple of other things, and then we'll continue. We're having fun with this one right now. So if you go back to your shapes, I want to put in this one, the smiley face. Same concept. Now, if you notice on here, some of your depending on your version that you're using, you may get a cluster of dots like this. You just stretch them, just open them up, and then let's undo that one because I want to resize it. Okay, I want to hold down my shift key and then stretch it open, and that should give me my same symmetry that I want from the beginning. If you notice, this one has a little orange dot too, whereas you can change the smiley face from a smile to a frown. And let's change the color just because everything is the same color. He looks sad. Okay, and then one last one, and then we'll conclude this module. I ask that while you're doing these things, that you continue playing around with them. They can be a lot of fun. They can put your imagination to work when you're creating your PowerPoint presentation. And this, I just want to do what we call a call out. I'm going to do a call out because the call out, when you put a call out in, what call out does is basically gives you where you look like you're talking to the person. In the call out, now, in this one in particular, you can type text. This is a great day. And then we make sure that we can see it. And this one also has an arrow, where you can reposition with the little dot. So we can make it long, make it look like it's going over here, like this one's actually saying this one. Now, this is basically what I have for inserting shapes. As I mentioned before, this can be fun to play around with and improve and enhance your presentation. We're going to be talking about inserting pictures and other objects in the future, in the next modules. So we ask you to just stay with us, and we look forward to you tuning in with us the next module. God bless you.